the Hollywood Unapologetic Podcast with Orlando Delbert, Filmmaking Essentials.
It's wild to think how quickly things are moving. Not that long ago, virtual reality felt like something out of science fiction, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
And now we're seeing this whole ecosystem of virtual, augmented, and what are they calling it? Extended reality. Just exploding.
XR, yeah. It's everywhere.
And right there alongside it, AI is becoming more and more a part of, well, everything digital, it seems.
Absolutely.
It makes you wonder, could AI be the key? Could it really bring all these immersive technologies together, maybe help create experiences that just seamlessly blend virtual and real, maybe even using incredibly realistic digital movement?
That's really the core of what we want to explore today. We've got some fascinating material looking right at that intersection, how AI is currently being used, and maybe more importantly, its potential to further connect VR, AR, and motion capture.
Okay.
And we also need to talk about the role of the new Hollywood generation of filmmakers and content creators in this whole evolving landscape.
Okay, so let's get into it. When we think about building these really immersive experiences, we're often looking at different but kind of related fields, right? You've got virtual reality, which, completely drops you into a digital world, full immersion.
Right.
Then there's augmented reality, where digital stuff gets layered onto what you see in the real world, through your phone or glasses maybe.
Yeah, overlaying information.
And then you have motion capture, which is all about recording movement, real human movement, and bringing it to digital characters.
Making them believable.
Exactly. And each one has its own strengths, doesn't it? VR for that total presence, AR for blending digital with our actual surroundings, and mocap for making digital characters move, well, convincingly.
Totally. But it feels like the ultimate goal, or maybe the dream, is to see these all work together in a really fluid, seamless way.
Yeah, like it's just one experience.
Precisely. And that's where artificial intelligence is really emerging as a powerful tool to potentially unify these different areas. Our sources are pointing to some significant progress already being made with AI, particularly in making these sophisticated technologies way more accessible.
Okay, how so?
Well, let's take motion capture as a prime example. Traditionally, capturing really realistic movement for, say, a video game character or an animated film, it required specialized suits covered in sensors,
Oh, yeah, the ping pong balls.
Exactly, or markers, and expensive multi-camera setups in dedicated studios. Very pricey, very technical.
Okay, right. So here's where it gets really interesting then. You're saying that now AI can basically analyze a regular video recording, just like from my phone, and turn that movement into 3D animation.
Pretty much, yeah. It sounds almost like magic, but that's what's happening.
Wow. Okay, because one of the things that popped up in our research was this tool called Animate 3D. It's by a company called In Deep Motion.
We saw that too.
And apparently it can take standard video files, just normal videos, and capture a whole range of complex movements, things like swimming, doing flips, even parkour.
And importantly, it can figure out things like custom foot locking, making sure the feet plant realistically on the ground, even if the ground isn't perfectly flat in the virtual scene.
And it detects the ground level itself. That's pretty smart.
It is. What's really compelling about this, though, is the level of accessibility it introduces. This tool, Animate 3D, as mentioned in some online discussions and documentation we looked at, can work with common video formats. MP4 files, for instance.
The kind everyone uses.
Exactly. It uses something called the H.264 codec, which is just a standard way of compressing video data.
Okay.
Interestingly, there's a suggestion that having more iframes in the video, you can sort of think of these as key reference pictures within the video stream that can actually lead to better, cleaner results from the AI.
Okay. Good tip for anyone trying it.
Yeah. And the animations it creates, they come out in standard industry formats like FBX, GLB, even BVH.
Which means you can use them pretty easily, right?
Right. You can bring them straight into popular game development platforms like Unity or Unreal Engine, or into 3D animation software like Blender or Maya.
And it's cloud-based, I saw, so you upload the video and it processes it online.
That's right, cloud processing. And it offers a freemium model, which is huge. It really lowers that financial barrier for independent creators or small studios. They even have tutorials available for Unity and Unreal integration.
That's great. So people can actually try it out. And they also have like a real-time body tracking SDK as a separate thing.
Yeah, that's another product they offer for more immediate live tracking applications.
Okay. And it's not just this one tool, Animate 3D, is it? We also looked at some info about other software like Character Creator 4 and iClone 8.
Those came up too.
These platforms are also integrating AI to do motion capture using just a regular webcam or standard MP4 videos. And they can even capture facial movements, not just body.
That's the direction things are heading. Both body and facial capture using accessible hardware is becoming much more widespread.
So, okay, stepping back a bit, what are the really big advantages of using AI in this way for motion capture? What does it really do for creators?
Well, the advantages are quite significant, actually. As you pointed out, that increased accessibility is probably the biggest one. You potentially no longer need that dedicated, expensive studio setup.
Right, opens it up.
Then there's a big boost in efficiency. AI can automate a lot of the tedious tasks involved in cleaning up and refining raw motion capture data, which, trust me, can save animators a ton of time and effort.
Less manual tweaking.
Exactly. The realism of the animations can also be enhanced because these AI algorithms are often trained on vast data sets of human movement. They can learn to capture really subtle nuances that might be missed otherwise.
Interesting.
So overall, it simplifies the whole workflow. It drastically reduces costs, potentially, and it speeds up the turnaround time, how quickly you can get those animations ready to use in your project.
Okay, so AI is making it easier, cheaper, faster to get realistic digital movement. That's clear. But how does that then translate into making those VR and AR experiences feel more immersive? How does AI enhance the environments themselves, not just the character motion?
That's the next logical step, right? This is where AI's ability to process information, lots of information, and react in real time becomes absolutely vital.
Okay.
AI algorithms can analyze data coming directly from the user, maybe where they're looking, how they're moving, as well as input from sensors in the real world if it's an AR application.
Right.
And then, based on that analysis, it can dynamically adjust what's happening in the virtual or augmented reality experience. It's not static anymore.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about characters in a video game that aren't controlled by another human player, the NPCs, non-player characters.
Okay, yeah. The ones that give you quests or just wander around.
Exactly. With AI, these NPCs can have much more natural-sounding conversations. They can actually react to what the player says or does, maybe change their behavior based on the player's actions, instead of just repeating the same few lines of dialogue.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense. So they feel more alive, less like robots following a script?
Precisely. The AI can learn and respond dynamically.
I remember reading something about using AI in VR and AR for education too. Like the AI could adapt the learning materials based on how well a student seems to be grasping the concepts.
Yes. That's a fantastic example. Personalized learning paths. If the system detects you're struggling with something, it might offer more help or a different explanation. If you're flying through it, it might offer more challenging material. That seems like a really powerful way to personalize education.
Definitely.
And it goes beyond just games and education. Think about immersive events. AI can enhance the visuals, maybe even tweak the storyline of an immersive theater piece or a virtual concert, potentially in real time, based on how the audience as a whole seems to be reacting.
Wow, like reading the room, but digitally.
Kind of, yeah. Imagine a virtual concert where the light show changes intensity based on the collective energy inferred from user interactions, or an interactive play where the plot actually branches based on audience choices inputted perhaps via their devices.
That's getting into really interesting territory.
And you can also have AI-powered digital assistants or chatbots within these experiences, maybe at virtual events, providing more personalized information or engagement. As you touched on with the play example, the audience's input, processed by AI, could directly influence how the narrative unfolds.
So AI isn't just about creating the assets like the motion capture. It's also about making the whole experience more dynamic, more responsive, more tailored to the individual or the group.
Exactly. It's adding that layer of intelligence and reactivity.
Okay, let's go back to that initial question then about bridging the gap. We've got easier motion capture thanks to AI. We've got AI making environments more dynamic. How does AI help take that specific motion capture data and make it work smoothly across both VR and AR platforms? How does it connect those dots?
So the key here is really AI's capability to analyze and effectively translate the motion data into formats and structures that are compatible with all the different types of software and hardware involved.
Ah, okay. Translation.
Yeah. Software like Character Creator 4 and iClone 8, which we mentioned earlier, are specifically designed with this in mind. They aim for seamless integration with popular game engines. Unreal Engine, Unity are the big ones.
Right.
And also standard 3D modeling and animation software like Blender, Maya, 3ds Max, etc.
So the tools are built to talk to each other.
Correct. And AI often underpins that smooth translation. This ability to work across different platforms is absolutely essential for developers who want to create an experience that, maybe someone can access on a high-end VR headset, but someone else can engage with through an AR app on their smartphone.
So the AI acts almost like a universal translator for movement data, ensuring that the realistic motions captured, maybe from that simple video, work correctly whether you're fully immersed in VR or seeing a digital character standing in your real living room via AR.
That's a great way to put it. A universal translator. It really streamlines the entire pipeline of bringing realistic digital motion into these interactive, multi-platform environments.
Makes it much less of a headache for creators, presumably.
Hopefully, yes.
Yes.
Now, we also wanted to specifically consider the role of what we're calling the new Hollywood generation in all of this. When we talk about this group, who exactly are we referring to, and how do they fit into this picture of AI, VR, AR, and mocap all coming together?
Yeah, good question. When I think of this generation, I picture the filmmakers, the game developers, the content creators who've basically grown up immersed in a digital world.
Digitally native.
Exactly. They're not intimidated by new technologies like AI or virtual reality or augmented reality. In fact, they're often the first ones to jump in, download the tools, and just start experimenting, figuring things out.
Playing with the tech.
Right. They have that inherent understanding of storytelling, maybe from film school or just from consuming media, but they also speak the language of digital tools fluently. They're comfortable combining narrative with interactivity and new tech.
And that combination is incredibly powerful, isn't it? We're seeing more and more discussions about how AI can assist with various stages of traditional filmmaking, too. Maybe having brainstorm initial script ideas, analyzing casting choices, even streamlining complex post-production tasks like visual effects or color grading.
AI is a creative partner, almost.
Potentially, yeah. It offers new avenues for creative expression and efficiency. So when you combine those kinds of AI-powered tools with the deeply immersive possibilities of VR and AR, well, you have a generation of storytellers who can potentially craft entirely new forms of multimedia experiences that we haven't really seen before.
And the fact that these AI-powered tools like the motion capture stuff we talked about are becoming more accessible and more affordable, that's a huge factor here.
Right, absolutely critical.
It means that independent creators, smaller studios, maybe even individuals, the kind of people who might make up this new Hollywood, they can actually participate in this convergence in a meaningful way.
Yes. They don't necessarily need the massive budgets of traditional Hollywood studios or big game developers to start exploring these really cutting-edge possibilities.
It's like a democratization of advanced tools.
Exactly. That's a perfect term for it.
Yep.
And this democratization opens up the potential for entirely new kinds of narratives, new ways to engage audiences that perhaps we haven't even imagined yet.
Like what, for example?
Well, think about truly interactive stories that seamlessly blend virtual elements you see in a headset with augmented elements you see on your phone or through glasses, all driven by AI that responds not just to your explicit choices, but maybe even to your inferred actions, or down the line, perhaps even your detected emotional responses.
Whoa, okay, that's definitely future-forward thinking.
But it's the direction this convergence points towards.
So it really does seem like AI could be this incredible catalyst, like the key ingredient bringing together the separate worlds of VR, AR, and motion capture to create these truly seamless, deeply engaging, multimedia immersive experiences.
It certainly has that potential.
And it's this new generation of filmmakers and content creators, the ones comfortable with both story and tech, who are in this unique position to really drive that innovation forward, to figure out what these new experiences can actually be.
Right. And what's particularly interesting, I think, is how AI isn't just making the technical nuts and bolts easier, although that's important. It's also empowering creators to genuinely push the boundaries of what's possible in immersive storytelling and audience interaction itself.
It's not just a tool, it's an enabler.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about augmenting human creativity, really, with the processing power and learning capabilities of artificial intelligence to unlock completely new dimensions of experience.
Okay, so here's something to maybe leave everyone thinking about. As AI continues to advance, and it's advancing so incredibly fast, how will this dynamic interplay, this partnership almost, between human creativity and artificial intelligence ultimately redefine what immersive media even is? And what kinds of stories will we be able to step into and truly experience within these new realities?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It definitely is. It's certainly something to keep in mind as you encounter these technologies and the new kinds of experiences they're starting to create out there. Lots to watch in this space.
You can find more insights on navigating the entertainment industry and achieving success in Orlando Delbert's work, including his book, Pollyanna's Tear-Soaked Battlefields of Hollywood, a survival guide against the cynicism and the hypocritical, and of course, the Hollywood Unapologetic platform. And always remember, you are the key to your own success. You are the new Hollywood generation.
Be informed, be prepared, and most importantly, be great.
That's it. Be great. Good luck out there.
See you next time.